Hi, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Today, we're going to be doing a presentation on the basics of starting an online store. So first, have you ever thought about starting an online store? If you have an idea for a product or service that you would like to offer in order to receive some extra cash, or even as a main source of revenue, you can easily set up an online store with just a few simple steps. And I'll be going over these steps today. This webinar will cover the basics of how to set up an online store, including creating a website, finding a marketing platform, and even other helpful tips. So you might be wondering, what are the benefits of opening an online store? A small online business is much easier to set up and manage than an in-person business, because you're using your computer right in front of you from the comfort of your own home, rather than having to drive somewhere or have an actual shop somewhere. Since the start of the pandemic, many more people have started shopping online, as well as using social media, which makes it easier to find clients and have social media marketing that will be more effective. Many people have started their own small businesses by selling directly on a website, or also alternatively on social media platforms like Instagram as well as Facebook. Of course, there are also some cons of starting an online store. Firstly, there is not as much credibility as if you were to go in person, because some people may be afraid to shop online since they have heard of people getting scammed or they're worried about their privacy or anything that could happen over the internet. As well, customer service may be challenging since you are not dealing with customers face-to-face, and sometimes interacting online is a lot different than in person. Also, it is highly competitive since so many other people have been opening online stores recently, especially during the pandemic, which has led to a highly saturated online marketplace and may make it more difficult for you to sell your product. Before you get started, you want to brainstorm. To start up a business, you must first decide what products or services you want to offer. Think about things like your merchandise, how your store will run, your targeted consumers, etc. Then make a goal for how much revenue you plan to generate or how many units you want to sell per period of time. This way, you have an idea of how much money you need to spend on inventory and also budgeting other things such as materials you may need or help from others if you're going to hire other people to help you. Now, I will go over the 3 main steps that will be covered during this presentation of this process. So first, setting up your company, then designing your website, and lastly, the marketing aspect. So again, starting off with setting up your company. What you need to set up an e-commerce store. First, you need a platform. WordPress and WooCommerce are great options. Etsy is another good one. Additionally, you will need a domain name, which is the website address, as well as web hosting, which is where your website lives on the internet, and every website that exists needs this. You will also need an SSL certificate, which gives you more security to accept credit card payments and other personal information. Now here is the normal pricing for these different things that you're going to need. Firstly, domain name. It can be approximately $14.99 US per year, or alternatively $18.86 Canadian dollars per year. For web hosting, it would be around $7.99 US per month, or $10.06 Canadian dollars a month. For the SSL certificate, it may be $69.99 US a year, or $88.08 Canadian per year. And for the WordPress membership, it may be $35.80 US a month, or 45 Canadian dollars a month. Though these prices are rough estimates, and depending on where you pay for them or what plan you're on, it may be very different. There is also discounted pricing, and you can use this Bluehost offer to get a free domain name, free SSL, and web hosting for $2.75 US per month, which is a basic plan. And you'll be able to click on that hyperlink. The this that is underlined, it's a bit colored in pink, and once you get a copy, you'll be able to access that from this slide. Next, you want to set up a company and get a sales tax ID. It's time to look into forming a corporate entity once you've had your website, suppliers, and items in place. The biggest advantage is that your business will run independently of you and you as the owner. You can sell in multiple currencies, which will automatically convert your prices into the customer's currency if you enable it to do so, which is extremely helpful. Here is a sample posted on this slide. It's a screenshot, and you can look at it here. There are things such as the taxpayer name, tax registration, test account, and more information regarding the tax ID on this little form. Next, you want to prepare your store for launch. But before you launch your store, be sure to do the following. Firstly, add a custom domain. Then install relevant sales channels, and even customize your email or SMS notifications, which is optional, but it is highly recommended to make it a better experience for you and your customers. And then you can also set up your store for marketing, such as activities like tracking and analytics. Next, you want to choose a website maker. WordPress tends to be the #1 website creation platform for small businesses, but there are other options including Wix, Weebly, Xyro, Shopify, and BigCommerce. Prices will vary between these platforms, and some are even free to use. Then you would like to create a theme and customize your online store. It is very important that your theme is eye-catching and attracts many customers. Each theme has multiple styles, so be sure to shop around for a theme and layout based on how large your product catalog will be. Also make sure your theme matches the aesthetic you want for your store to make it more pleasing for people to look at and maybe even draw them in if they can relate to the aesthetic of the store. And do not pick a theme based on colors or fonts. Since these things are all things that you can customize later on, you want to be focusing a lot more on the shape of it and the way that it's formatted on the screen and how you can have your information, your products, and all those kinds of things laid out. You also want to consider whether the theme you're looking at has any built-in features you need, such as a search bar that auto-completes searches or a section that displays press mentions or a drop-down menu, for example. Keep in mind that you are not stuck with the theme you pick. If you change your mind later, you can preview other themes and make adjustments. Now I'll speak a little bit about customizing your homepage. You can modify, add, remove, or temporarily hide components inside each theme. Sections can assist you in deciding how to showcase your store's homepage and experiment with different layouts. Make sure to add subsections for each category for a more organized website. I find that it's very helpful to be shopping on a website that is very organized and you can find things easily. So if you want to focus on that, make sure that you're using these different options such as the subcategories and submenus as well. Now, adding products to your online store is very important. You want your products to look attractive, so ensure that the photos you use paint your products in the best light with the best angles and show the features that are most important. You want to make sure to use great lighting and backgrounds when taking pictures of your products. And if you have a special camera or you know someone who you can borrow one from, that may also be a great idea to get the best shot possible. If it is a clothing item or accessory that you're selling, it could also be beneficial to have someone wearing the item to model how it fits and to show people what it may look like when they're wearing it. If it is a functional item, you can even include a video of how to use it And that may make people want to buy it more if they can already understand the simplicity of the item. Here are just some screenshots of an example of different mugs at different angles on this online store. And here's a model wearing one of the outfits on another one. Next, create key pages for your store. You should make it easier for people to understand your business and ensure that they feel safe shopping from your site. It is important to include the following key pages in your website. This includes a contact page, an about page, and frequently asked questions page, as well as a policy page. These are all super important, and many of the larger companies have these, and it's easier for people to find information about you as the retailer. Under the support section, a customer can find the frequently asked questions, the About Us section, and also how to contact the company and other helpful information. This screenshot has been taken from an online store, and you can see that there's a whole section dedicated to helping the customers. And then are many different things that you can think about adding. For example, a size guide if you're selling clothing, information on shipping, as well as how to contact the store, because that's very important. If people are having trouble using the website, you want to be able to help them in order to make them want to buy your items. It is also good to include a section with your store's return policy, ethics, size chart, and more. So as I mentioned about the size chart, you can also have a section on the return policy to make sure people understand how it would work if they needed to return something, and just to give them the most clear understanding of how the store works. Next, you want to set up your payment gateway. Next up is deciding how your store will accept payments and how you as a store owner will get paid in a safe way for all parties. You want to choose the payment options you want to offer, such as different credit cards, for example, American Express or MasterCard Visa, and accelerated one-click payment options as well. To the left on the screen is a small diagram of how this kind of works with the responses and how the money would move through the chain. So it goes from the customer to the online store, and then it would go into whatever payment gateway that you choose. And then it may be confirmed for payment at the issuing bank, and then there will be a payout with the merchant. And you want there to be response so that the customer understands what's happening and they can see their transaction. The next section is marketing. How will you be marketing your online store that you've just created? You now know how to set up a company, set up your website, and meet your own online business sales tax requirements. But at the end of the day, selling stuff online is really a numbers game. You are trying to maximize the number of people who are visiting your store online and maximize your conversion rate as well. Just a brief overview of what a conversion rate is. This is the number of sales made divided by the number of people who visited the site. For example, if you had 20 people visit your site per month, say last March, and you made 50 sales that month, your conversion rate would be 25% because 50 of the 200 people actually bought something and there was a sale. Social media marketing. When it comes to marketing, you want to have a presence where your consumers tend to hang out in order to reach your target market. The best way to achieve this is to market using social media, especially during the pandemic when many more people are online and they spend more time online as well. You may want to create a social media account for your store so that consumers from various audiences will see your business. And Instagram and Facebook are great and professional social media platforms for an online business. And there are also other ones, such as TikTok, which is another great option, since this platform makes it easy to go viral if you use the proper algorithms. But other things are super useful as well. You can see even some people may use Twitter or Pinterest as well, or YouTube if you want to create videos to promote your product or service. Next, online marketing platforms that are available. There are many websites out there that can help you easily market your business online for a small monthly fee. For example, MailChimp, WooCommerce, HubSpot, and Keep. If you're interested in learning more about MailChimp, you can click here when you receive a copy of the presentation to watch a past webinar on this topic. Thank you very much for listening. If you'd like to learn this lesson with a Cyber Seniors mentor, please go to www.cyberseniors.org or call that phone number in order to register for a one-on-one session. We also do host weekly tech drop-in sessions from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays.